This is yet another exciting Excel DSS project video. Today, all you will need is your Excel DSS project file, and we will discuss the residual results and build a few if statements. All right, back to our spreadsheet here. Let's scroll down to the residual output, and we're going to look at this column here, column B. The predicted price of the stock. So mine's Sam Adams, yours is going to be a different stock. Here are our observations. We have the first observation, the predicted price of the stock should have been $144. In the next observation, it should have been $142, 147, 163. So this is the predicted price according to this model. All right, so we entered all these values in. It figured out the coefficient, the p-value, all of these numbers here, and it says, I'm going to redo the entire Sam Adams price of the stock by not mapping it against real actual results, but rather against this formula that this entire regression analysis has come up with. And so these are the prices or the predicted prices of the stock. On this tab here is the original, the actual real life closing price of the stock. So here we have in column B on July 3rd, 2017, the price of the Sam Adams stock was $134.05. 2 days later, it was $133.50. So it technically lost, what is that, 55 cents over the holiday break. I guess everyone bought their beer before the 4th of July, and there were less sales or something along those lines. Okay, so this is the actual price. This is the predicted price with the model. So let's get these two things side by side so we can look at them a little further. What we're going to do is in column E, row 31. I want to make it just sort of even with this row here. If you're on a different row, you can adjust accordingly, but I like to keep it right here in row 31. We're going to type in the word actual price, and next to it, we're going to type in the word predicted price. And I'm going to highlight this and click on this little underline here to add a bottom border so that you can separate the values here. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste the actual price of the Sam Adams stock into this column, and then we're going to copy and paste the predicted price into this column and make an adjustment so that it looks like a dollar figure. So let's do that now. Going back to our um, data page here, we're going to click on cell B2. We're going to scroll all the way down to row 1259. Hold the shift key, click on the last value, click on the copy button, go to this sheet, click on cell E32, and we're going to paste. Okay. And we're going to now go to, on this page, go to cell B32. And again, if your regression analysis popped up with something different, like if you did not delete the intercept, you may want to do it now. But if it is a different number or different row, you're just going to have to adjust accordingly. All right, so we're going to click on, again, the first value there, scroll all the way down to 1289, hold the shift key, click, copy, paste. Now, this doesn't look like a dollar figure, so we are going to just sort of change the format of this entire column. I'm going to highlight everything here and just click, okay, get down here. And I'm going to go up here where it says general and change that to currency. All right, so you should have dollar figures for both. If you don't, you can make them both dollar figures just by doing the same exact thing, highlighting everything and making sure that it reads currency. All right, so according to the model, the price of Sam Adams stock at the end of the day should be $144. The actual price is $134. If the actual price is lower than the predicted price, you want to buy more of that stock because according to the model, the price should be at 144 and it's currently at 134. So you want to buy if actual price is lower than predicted price. And then the opposite's true. If the actual price is higher than the predicted price, you want to sell that stock because it's overvalued. In this case, right here, the actual price is 134, the predicted price is 144. It is undervalued. In reality, you want to buy more because the actual price should meet that predicted price at some point in the future. So let's write this equation. Um, Actually, before we write the equation, we're going to add another column header here. We're going to call it action. I'm going to underline it. Okay, now that we have our action column, let's build our first formula. We're going to click in cell G32. We're going to type the equal sign, and that tells Excel that we're writing a formula or we're writing out an equation. And our first equation is an if statement, IF. And our first equation is an if statement. You type in IF, open parentheses. And the way this works is you provide a logical test. In this case, if E is greater than F, if that's a true statement, we want it to say what? What do we want it to say? If the actual value is greater than the predicted value, we actually want to sell that stock because the actual price is overvalued. And if that's not true, if it's a false statement, if the actual price is less than the predicted price, we want to buy. So we'll actually fill it out just like that using that logic. You can type in these cell values, E32 and F32, or you can just sort of click on them. I like clicking on them right here, so we'll build out the logical test first. If E32 is greater than, we'll click on F32, comma. If that is the case, if it's a true statement, we want to sell. So I'm going to type in the word quotes. I want to type in quotes, excuse me, SELL, quotes. All right. So if the actual price is bigger than the predicted price, that actual price is overvalued. You want to get rid of that stock. If that's not true, we got to put the false statement in. So we're going to type in comma. And then as you can see, this highlights, it's a little bit bold. We want to put the false value in. We're going to put quotes, B-U-Y, quotes, close parentheses. So if E32 is not greater than F32, we are going to buy that stock. All right, and we're going to hit enter. We can see that the actual price 134 is not bigger than the predicted price of 144, and so we want to buy. Now we need to copy this all the way down. We can do this two different ways. I like the quick and easy way here. I'm going to mouse over this little, I don't know if you see it, but there's a little box right here in the lower right hand corner of the cell. It's a little dark box. right there, right above the plus sign. If you mouse over that, notice how my plus sign goes from a white plus sign to a black plus sign. If you double click, it will autofill the formula all the way down, and you can see there's a bunch of buys and sells. If you can't do that, if it's a little tricky for you, you can mouse over, click, hold down, and then drag, and it does the same thing. It just takes a little longer, but when you get down to the bottom, you let go and it does the same thing. So if you click on any of these cells, you can see up here in the formula bar that it basically copies the entire formula down and it makes an adjustment for the adjacent cells. All right, so we now have our action, buy and sell, going all the way down the column. Now we are going to count the number of buys and sells in this column by using another statement, another formula called the COUNTIF formula. So let's go to column I, cell 31, so I-31. We're going to type in the word count. And I want to highlight I and J31 and underline that. Add a nice little underline. And then I'm going to type in the word buy equal, sell equal, and hold equal. Oops, equal. There you go. And we haven't done anything with holds yet, but we will in the near future. All right, so in the adjacent column, so in column J, next to buy, we are going to type in our new formula, and this formula is a count if statement. So it will count, it'll add 1 to the value for every buy that we have in column G. So we're going to type in the equal sign, type in the word, and it's all one word, count if parentheses. All right, now it's going to ask you for the range. What range do we want? We want from cell G32. So I'm going to click on G32 and I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom here. Click and drag and then let go at the very, very last one here, row 1289. And then you got to scroll all the way back up. And here you can see, let's see if we can zoom in more. Well, it's up here. G32 colon G1289. So that's everything between G32 and G1289. And then we're going to put our criteria in here. First, you got to type in comma. And now the criteria, quote, we want to count all the BUYs and end parentheses. So I'm going to throw this formula up on the screen just so that you see it. Hit enter. And I have 659 buys in this column. We're going to do the same for sell. What you want to do is you want to basically use the same formula, but change the word buy into sell. What you don't want to do is you don't want to copy this down, because if I just copy this down, it has a decreasing number. That's because the formula changes by 1 cell each way. You don't want that to happen. You technically have to retype out the equation and make just a couple changes. So if you can remember G32 to G1289, it's very helpful. So if you need to click off and click onto the cell again, just to clear it out, let's build this formula here, equals count if G32 colon G1289, comma, S-E-L-L, end quote. All right, we'll leave that open for you. Hit enter. All right, and you can double check. Just make sure you have it's 1289. Everything is in there, and that looks good. Okay. And so in this case, I have 599 holds. I'm sorry, cells. And going into the hold area here, we're going to do the same thing. Count if parentheses G32 colon G1289 comma quote HOLD end quote and parentheses. I'll wait a second here so you can take a look at it up here. Hit enter and you should have 0 holds. Okay, that's it for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too painful. And in the next video, we will learn a few more equations and we will build this model out even further.